double challenge you.
To join this campaign to end the criminal regime of casualization, the criminal regime of contract staffing that has been the norm in Sumal Food Limited. Not only in Sumal, in other factories. This man was a worker inserted and he had an accident. And look at him now. They conducted a surgery on him. As he is now, he breathes through his mouth. He cannot breathe through the nose. Immediately after the accident, the man was sacked. And he was sacked without giving him a gratuity, without any compensation. That is the condition of slavery that we have across all our factories. And we are coming out at this particular point in time to launch a campaign to say enough is enough. Enough is enough.
About what we are doing, we are calling on you to join us, not to stand as onlookers. All of you today, if you are not working in a factory or a company, you have relatives who are working there. And that is why this struggle is also your struggle. I would also like to say that on a final note, ultimately, a struggle against casualization can only be won ultimately and fundamentally when it leads to the overthrow of capitalism, the system that permits the exploitation of workers. And that is why we in the SPN, TWR and the DSM are calling for a socialist government on the basis of nationalization of the commanding height of the economy under democratic workers' control and management. That is the only way to ensure that the immense resources that this country has can be utilized to provide basic amenities and a better life for us.
You are the man in the eye of the storm. What exactly do you want?
Well, first is to drop all of the trump-up charges levied against my personality. Because none of it is true. They are unfounded and they are calculated to deform my character and my personality. And I think it's on that basis that we felt that all of those trump-up charges currently hanging on my neck has to be dropped. But beyond that, because something provoked the stage we are today, and that is the regime of casualization and outsourcing that always make sure that Nigerian people work under a precarious condition that often deny them of democratic rights. And it's on that basis that we feel that that regime of casualization, regime of outsourcing, and all other form of contract employment has to come to an end. Not only in Sumal, but in other factories and workplaces across the country where this crime is being perpetrated against the Nigerian youths.
As you can see, we are never tired. The struggle is going on well. Our people are conscious and they are not resolute. They are bent on things to be done in the right way. They are bent on the Sumal management to recall all that had been sacked as a result of this struggle. We are also asking the Nigerian security agencies to stop and to detest from harassing women rights activists, all because they are fighting for the justice of the workers that are used like slaves.
What happened to you?
Yeah, hi. When I closed on 14th of May, I was going home and I have an accident on the road. And the Zate was treating me After they treated me finish, even said the treatment, we can see that the treatment is still continuing, because according to the usage that I should go home, after a month I should come back to come and continue with treatment. So before that a month, on October last year, Zatek has sacked me. After they sacked me, there's no any benefit, no gratitude, nothing. They didn't pay me anything.
Why did they sack you?
Because I have accident.
You have accident in Zatek or on your way home?
I'm going home.
It has nothing to do with your job?
Yes.
Okay, but you were fired after you had the accident?
Yeah.
And what do you want?
I want them to continue, they will have to pay me my gratitude so I can use it to go. We can see that I can't breathe with my nose and breathe with mouth. So they should pay me. I should go and operate my nose.
Wait, did you sign on to a gratuity contract when you were employed?
Yes, I have a document.
And they did not pay you your gratuity?
Pay me, yes.
This is a struggle that has just started. How do you feel?
Well, I feel elated, especially going by the response we have had, going from junction to junction, trying to sensitize the public about what is happening in our workplaces. And why I'm elated is that you could see from the faces of the people that they recognize these conditions that we are talking about. But what remains now is the readiness of Nigerian workers to actually stand up in unison, to begin to fight, to demand an end to casualization. And that is why we call our action today a kickoff. We want to take this campaign into the nooks and crannies of the trade union movement and across the country to ask workers to begin to demand of their unions the need for them to look into every workplaces where they are organized and see whether there are any casuals there. If there are casuals or outsourced workers there, to then do what is required, which is to go to the employer and insist that the labor law of Nigeria should be respected. And it's very clear. Casualization is illegal. Outsourcing, which is an attempt to bypass the law in order to casualize, is also something that is condemnable. And this is happening not just in the factories, but also in banks, in financial institutions today. And to make the matter worse, the government that is supposed to implement the labor law is also practicing a form of casualization itself through OES scheme, YesO schemes, the Empower scheme, all of which brings down the time of employment and put workers, especially young graduates, on conditions that are only fit for slaves. And that is why you find in the banks, in the factories, an attitude that they can break the law at will, since the government also is doing that.
Matter was to mention today after Abiodun Bamigboye was arraigned in court at the last adjourned date and was granted bail. But fortunately, the magistrate is ill, and the matter has been adjourned to 5th of August for further proceedings.
That this will be the beginning of a process that will resolve all of the contradictions in the country. There is a need, of course, the matter is in court, but we are not unaware that we are only specifically referring to the questions of the charges against Comrade Abiodun Bamigboye. There's also the general issues of casualizations, which is topical, which is important, which must be brought to the attentions of all Nigerians. The country has been declared the poverty capital of the world. It's not far-fetched. What this simply means is that too many people in the country earn little or nothing. One of the processes by which such happens is the process of casualization. Because it is not that the funds to pay workers living wage is not available, but casualization is a process that ensures that the wages that should go to workers is lined in the pocket of those who sit down as contractors. And interestingly, some of these contractors who do the outsourcing are management personnel of these very companies. And what that translates to means that they'll be earning wages twice as management staffs of their companies, as people forming illegal organizations to recruit workers to come and work in that company as casuals.